Welcome to another edition of Play It Through, and this time around it's Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, brought to us by Capcom. Now this is just another one of the great Capcom-Disney collaborations that came out during the NES and the SNES eras. And even though this one's just mediocre in comparison to some of the great Capcom-Disney games, it's still pretty fun to play, and has a good soundtrack composed by Yoko Shimomura, who would go on to compose the music for the Kingdom Hearts series. Now in this game you're playing as a random kid who must find several keys that has been lost by Goofy throughout the theme park. Yeah, it's really not heavy on the storyline or anything, but basically what it is the attractions offer different elements of gameplay, and you have to get a key from each of the 5 attractions, and then the final key is gotten through doing random trivia questions throughout the park. Now I'm going to be taking care of the random trivia questions first, and then start working on the rides. The cool thing about the game is you can do them in any order you want to. So if you don't feel like doing the trivia questions first, or you want to do some trivia, then go do a ride and do some more trivia, it's completely optional and completely up to you. And that element of choice makes the game actually pretty fun. Now this is basically the opening story, which I pretty much already explained. Goofy loses keys and you have to find them. That pretty much just summarizes in this large cutscene that is appearing on the screen as Mickey stares right at you. Okay, so here we go. Here's your random kid that you're playing as. And I'm going to start with the trivia questions, and here's the first kid with the first question. And they all say something randomly about you, and then they ask you the question. Okay, how many ghosts are in the Haunted Mansion? Well, that's 999. And by somehow answering that, he knows who I am, and then he gives me the clue to find the next person. So now we're going to head over the Space Mountain, and talk to this girl, and we're going to get another random trivia question. I'll tell you what you know if you answer the question correctly, okay? When Goofy first appeared, he had another name. What was it? Well, that's Dippy Dog. And, even though I consider myself, maybe, you know, a pretty big fan of Disney, and I know a lot of trivia questions, for the most part, knowing these questions in particular was because I've played the game so many times, as a kid and now, and that's how I was able to know them all. Okay. When is Mickey Mouse's birthday? That's November 18th, 1928. Wow, I guess they were right. I saw the silver key in front of It's a Small World. And thank God, in this game, even though you have to go through 5 attractions, thankfully, one of them is not It's a Small World, or else I probably would have put a bullet in my head. Okay, next key. Or next question. What is Donald Duck's middle name? Yeah, that's Fauntleroy. Or however the heck you spell that. As a kid, I had no idea the answer to that question, and I would just end up taking each one until I finally got it right, and then from then on I just memorized, it's the one that starts with F, because I'm never even really quite sure about how to pronounce the name. Okay, next kid in front of the main gate. Okay, yes, so let's get on with it. I know you're going to ask me a trivia question in order to figure out somehow who I am. What is the name of Disneyland's riverboat? That would be the Mark Twain. That's right, I saw the dog heading towards Tom Sawyer's Island. Well, I guess that's where we're heading to next. So work my way up the path, and now I'm going to go past the castle here. Past the Haunted Mansion on the left there. And talk to this random girl, and you actually can see Pluto here, who of course now has the key that we've been trying to get this whole time. Who is the most clever and responsible of the 7 dwarfs? I think we all know that to be Doc. I think anyone who's even seen Snow White once would know that answer to that question. It's probably one of the easier ones in the mix. Okay, next question. This is actually the final one. We actually have to answer 2 though correctly in a row, so it's a little bit more challenging. Where does Dumbo take place? That's Florida. Okay, another question. What was the first Mickey Mouse cartoon ever made? You would think it'd be Steamboat Willie, but it's not. It's Plane Crazy. Okay, here's the silver key. Congratulations. Okay, now that we got the keys to that key taken care of, let's go on and actually do some rides. And we're going to start with Autotopia, which basically works like a Spy Hunter or a bump and jump style gameplay, where basically we actually have a time limit. We're really not racing against the other racers. We have a time limit, and we have to get to the end within the time limit. So of course we're going to boost up, get full speed, and basically try not to get bumped off the road or bumped in the walls and the cones by the other random drivers throughout the race. Pretty much it's a really easy track. You just gotta be careful that when you hit a jump, one of those big jump ramps like that one I just hit, that you don't land in the grassy area or it's an instant loss. Hit that cone there so that blue car could go ahead and speed up so I didn't run into the back of them. 2 random cars caused me to bump into the wall. Make a jump to the right, then to the left, then to the left. Okay, land back on, past random cows and hit another jump. Now head over to the right, hit this one, watch out for the car. There's only one area of the game where in this map where you actually have to slow down, and it's coming up pretty soon. Okay, here we go. We're gonna make this first jump. Now you're gonna have to slow down and wait for the bridge to form. And of course, if you speed ahead, you'll fall right in the water, and of course you'll fail the great track here. Okay, hit the big jump, land on top of the blue car. Now we're at actually the very end here. Just gotta make it past these fountains. You can hear an annoying beeping sound going on to signify that I'm almost out of time, but hey, I still beat. I beat Pete, and I get the key. Okay, next up is gonna be Space Mountain. Probably the absolute hardest of all 5 of the attractions. For this one, you have to play like a button combination game where a button appears that you have to press, and if you don't press that button within the time limit, or press the wrong button, you lose a health point, or lose one of your 3 hearts at the top of the screen there. You can see them in the upper left corner. And of course, if you run out of hearts, you lose and have to restart from the first planet. And basically, you have to get from planet A to planet F. So you do a bunch of the random button presses, then you go to B. Of course, it's faster, then C's faster than that, and so on and so forth until you finally reach your destination or die trying. Basically, it's simple button presses, up, down, left, right, and then you have A and B to take out either the meteors or the space stations that are coming at you. So I can tell the ones look kind of like the space stations from like a Star Wars film, and the other ones kind of look like, they could be Peanut Butter Captain Crunch. They could be any kind of puffball cereal that you want them to be. Cocoa Puffs. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Make them whatever you want. But anyway, that's what they've always reminded me of, even though they're meteors or rocks. Whatever. There's flying space crap. As we are in Planet C, trying to work my way over to Planet D. As a kid, this used to take me so long. I ended up always doing this one either first, or I would just try to do the other ones and then do this one last. I never did it in between, just because I hated it so much as a kid because I wasn't fast enough with the buttons, so I would dread doing this. And this was the one that usually prevented me from being able to actually complete the game in the end. As you saw, I did take 1 damage because I messed up there, because the things are coming at you so fast, it's hard to actually press them before the flash goes off. Okay, we're almost to the end here. Random Cocoa Puff. Another one, that was a Crunch Berry, I think. Right. Take another space station out. Take out a Crunch Berry. Down, the right, left. Left. Up. Right. Okay. How much more? Can't be much more. Okay, take another space station out. Another. Damn, a lot of rocks flying at me. Oh good, and we've arrived. You see Mickey in his really retarded looking spacesuit. Somehow his ears are sticking out of the glass. Don't really realize what's up with that. But anyway, we're gonna head to the next one, which is the next attraction, which is Big Thunder Mountain in Frontier Town. Or Frontierland, sorry. And in this one, basically you're controlling this train and you're of course on tracks, and you have 4 gates that are open up at the bottom of the course, the end of the course. And the thing about it is, only one of those gates is open each time you play it, and it's randomly selected, and it told me in that beginning text which one was open and which was gate 1. So basically for gate 1, I'm going to hug the left side of the track no matter what, and work my way over, try to slow down to avoid any rocks flying across, or gates, or try not to go off the track. So that make sure I'm all the way on the left side, so that when I reach the end here, I'll land in the correct gate, and don't have to worry about as random pigs are hanging out. Not very lively pigs either, just kind of stagnant there. But we're almost to the end. Not a very long track, and thankfully it isn't very long, because as a kid I would mess up, especially on 2 or 3, figuring out which one was going to lead me to the number 2 or number 3 gate, just because those middle ones are a little bit confusing. But if you have 1 or 4, you obviously know you're either on the far left or the far right. Pretty simple though. And now we're going to head to the next one, which is going to be the Haunted Mansion, which is one of the 2 best attractions in the game. There's 999 ghosts are here. I highly doubt there's 999 ghosts located in this particular game, in this particular map or whatever, but it's a good amount. Anyway, you have random candles that you can throw at the enemies, and you actually have a counter of how many candles you have, as you can see in the upper left corner. And you collect random candles to, of course, gain some more back. As I like the element right there that they use the big head honcho ghost as a reflection, you know, trying to play with your mind a little bit, which is really cool, actually. But then again, it's Capcom, so they actually put a lot of detail into their games. Especially on the NES. Next thing, we're going to ride this random floating chair up, grab some extra candles, and now we're going to deal with random dancing citizens. Kind of reminds me of from like random Castlevania games. Shoot a whole bunch of them. This level overall isn't too difficult, it's just starting here is a series of jumps that are a little bit challenging to make. But if you can beat games like Mario, you're going to be fine making these types of jumps. And work my way over to this chandelier all the way on the left here. Another chair, and now somehow a different looking chair that's facing the other way takes me up through the floor. And now we have probably the most difficult part in the level, when you're just floating on the chair, and it's hard. Of course, you don't have a lot of movement you can make, and if flying books are flying at your face constantly. But you always have a shot at them. A straightforward shot before they start flying at you, so they're pretty easy to take care of. And now here probably is the hardest part, making these jumps for these chairs that are falling down, and with the other random enemies flying around you, the game slows down, the frame rate slows down, so it's a little bit challenging. But here we go, here's the boss, the pretty much only boss in the entire game. And it's the head honcho ghost that we saw earlier at the beginning. Throw a bunch of candles at him, and he's taken care of in about 10 or so shots. He's done, I get another key, and now we only have one more key to get, and then we've completed this game. And it's going to be in the Pirates of the Caribbean level, which nowadays is probably, the most popular ride just due to the fact of the movies having such huge success. And then again, Disney did try it with making also the Haunted Mansion movie, but that failed miserably. Okay, on this level, it's very similar, of course, to the Haunted Mansion, basically the same design, kinda. We don't have candles right at the start. There is a candle later in the level that's an infinite candle, where we can just keep throwing it no matter what. We don't have to collect more of it. But in this game, in this level, we actually have to find random maidens that have been kidnapped. There was the first one. There's only one on the first island, and then you're going to get in this boat and head to the right. And you've been wondering what their stars are throughout the game, and what they are, they pretty much work like money, and I can use them at any time to buy a power-up, and this is going to be pretty much the only time I'm going to use one. I have an invincibility for about a few seconds, which will allow me to make these jumps over those lava pits without having to stop and wait for the lava balls to come up and then making the jump afterwards. It just speeds things up a little bit. Watch out for the gold flying. Now I'm going to jump over to the right. Watch out for this pirate. He's going to go under. Another gold throwing pirate. There's the gold candle I mentioned earlier. It doesn't appear in the upper left corner or anything, but I have an infinite candle. Climb up here, grab the maiden. Walk over to the right, and grab the next one. And I'm just going to make it fall down here, and climb up this ladder, and walk to the right to collect the last maiden. Drop down, and now I'm going to light the fire to inform them that I have saved them all. After it's been lit and the smoke rises up, jump in the boat, and right over to the right, and you get a thanks from the random citizen, and you have another key. So yeah, now that we have all the keys, we can see the great ending that is this game. Walk over to the Magic Kingdom itself, the castle. The gate now will open up, because we have all the keys, even though I don't see a single lock on that door. And now we get congratulated by Mickey, and we get to have a parade. But unfortunately, in the game, we don't get to actually see the parade. It just kind of is implied that there was a parade, which is really disappointing, considering that was the whole point, was to have a parade. But either way, that's the end. You see your character and Mickey, Donald, and Goofy in the background there. And that's going to wrap up another edition of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.